In this video, I'm gonna show you the best intuitive solutions for all of the 41 standard F2L cases while applying great finger tricks. So to get the most out of this tutorial, make sure you're familiar with beginner F2L and finger trick basics like home grip, pinch moves, and push moves. But aside from that, all you need is a cube and you're good to go. Standard F2L cases occur when both of the pieces of the pair we're solving are either in the top layer or stuck in their own slot. So this is a standard case. This is also a standard case because the corner is stuck in its own slot. But this is not a standard case because the corner is stuck in a different slot. These standard cases are the foundation of your F2L knowledge, as all of the other non-standard cases will build on the same techniques. Now, a common mistake people make is only learning how to solve these cases in the front right slot. But here's the problem. Some cases are actually meant to be solved in the front left. The two separate cases I'm showing right now have the exact same solution, just mirrored. And since you can almost mirror every case, it means you only need to learn about half of the 41 cases. Now 20 cases doesn't sound so bad now, does it? And to quickly tell which side to solve a pair on, we're gonna look at the edge orientation. When looking at an F2L pair, the edge can either be good or bad. A good edge has a top color that matches either the front center or the opposite color, which in this case is green. This edge is a good edge. And this edge right here is also a good edge because red is opposite of orange. A bad edge, however, doesn't match either the front or back centers. So this is a bad edge. Good edges, like this one right here, can be solved using only RU moves or LU moves, which is ideal for fast execution. If you have a bad edge, however, for example this edge right here, the simplest fix is to just rotate to either side, which now turns the same edge into a good edge. For now, always rotate so the slot you're solving into is in the front, because we'll cover back slot solutions in a later video. But before we jump into solutions, I'm using my new favorite cube right here, the MoYu Weilong Ferrocore, which I actually helped Go develop. So if you're looking for a dope speed cube, you can grab one at thecubicle.com, the best spot for all speed cubing things. And don't forget, if you ever buy something, to use discount code CubeHead for a huge discount. Guys, your support helps me to keep making these videos, so thank you so much for considering it.
Back to the video.
Now, if you remember from beginner F2L, there are 4 easy inserts, and these are also part of the 41 standard cases. Now, first off, we have the right pair, and applying edge orientation right here, you can tell it is a right pair because the top color of the edge matches the front, so you can solve this using only R and U moves. And for the right pair, we just want to move it aside, open the slot, insert it, and close it like that. However, there's one more insert that I want to show you, which we call a sledgehammer or simply a sledge, because we're gonna use these moves more often for other cases. And for this insert, we just want to first put the pair in its position, hide it, fixing the cross on the right, and then doing an F prime by bracing the middle layer with your pinky and doing this right here. And if you're wondering, it is always better to use a sledge as an insert when there's no oriented yellow edges for your last pair. So if I do a sledge right now, you will have a better chance of getting a good OLL. What's also handy about the sledge is that we can use the algorithm from this angle right here to solve a righty pair when the edge isn't oriented. So we can do the same sequence of moves, which would be putting the pair in its position, hiding it, fixing the block, and fixing this block right here, which is a good way to solve this pair without having to rotate. And we can just mirror these solutions to a left pair, so a normal insert looks like that, a lefty sledge like this, and a hedge from this angle right here, just like that. And the other easy insert looks like this, so we have different colors on top. Now for this one, just connect the two pieces, insert it by using a pinch and closing the slot like that. Exactly the same on the left side, just like so. Every case from now on will simply be setup moves into an easy insert. So during the video, I will show the setup moves in round brackets and the easy insert in square brackets, which makes it easier to follow along. I call this the intuitive solution formula because the setup moves are usually just 3 moves and it makes it really easy to grasp what is happening. And once we have an easy insert, we just insert it in one of the front slots. The first cases we're gonna cover are when both of the F2L pieces are in a top layer, but not connected. And the reason we're starting with these is that they're really easy because we're just applying all of the techniques from beginner F2L. For the first pair, we have the same color that is facing up, so we wanna move the edge next to the corner. And the way we do that is putting the corner in the back right here, hide it, pushing the edge next to it, bring the corner back, and now we have a pair, which we can insert like that. Now remember guys, whenever I'm solving the orange-blue pair, I'll just be doing the mirror case in the front left slot. So the solution will be exactly the same, but just using lefty moves. So for this pair right here, we can just hide the corner, push the edge next to it, and then inserting the pair. And we can use the exact same principle for this case right here. So we have the same colors facing up, hiding the corner, moving the edge next to the corner, bringing the corner back, which creates a pair, and we can insert it like so. Now we have the mirror case right here, hiding the corner, putting the edge next to it, bring the corner back, and inserting the pair. For the next disconnected pair, we have different colors facing up, so this time we want to move the edge right here so we can form a 3-move insert. And the way we're gonna do that is by putting the corner in the back, and if we now hide it, we can push the edge in its correct position and then solve this case by pushing it in like so. And then for the mirror case, solving it on the left side, we can once again just hide the corner, push the edge in the position, bring the corner back, and solve this insert by pushing it in like so. And now we have 4 more cases where white is facing up, and these are really simple because we're gonna use the same principles as beginner F2L. So aligning the edge, hiding the edge, bringing the corner over the edge, bring it back, and now we have a pair like so. Now the lefty mirror solution, hiding the edge, bring the corner over it, bring the corner back, and inserting the pair. This time the edge is right here, but we can do the same thing, aligning the edge, pushing the corner over it, bringing the corner back, and inserting the pair. And for the mirror case, just aligning the edge, hiding it, corner over it, bring it back, and inserting the pair. Moving on to the corner is slot cases. So these cases have the corner we're solving in the correct slot, but the edge is in the top layer. Now the first case has a solved corner and an oriented edge right here. Now up till this point, whenever we had an oriented edge, we just did 2-gen solutions or just RU or LU moves. However, now we're gonna kind of break this rule just because this solution I find to be way better. So just putting the edge in the back, doing a sledgehammer right here, which sets up a 3-move insert in the front right, just like so. And even though this one has F moves, it can be done really fast. So now for the mirror solution, this time the edge is oriented to the left side. Once again, put it in the back, doing a lefty sledge into this 3-move insert like that. Now for the next corner in slot case, white faces to the left, and notice that if we bring the corner next to the edge, we form a pair right here. But we're not gonna do F moves because this edge is oriented. What we can do instead is just hiding the edge in the back, bring the corner over it, and then if we bring it back, it forms a pair, which we can just insert like so. And exactly the same for the mirror case, just hiding the edge and bring the corner over it, and then inserting the pair. And then for the final 2 corner in slot cases, this time white faces to the right, and notice that we cannot form a pair like this, so this is the different case. These 2 colors are not matching, so if I can bring the corner right here, by just taking it out, we actually set up a 3-mover. And notice that these sequence of moves are just a sexy move into an insert like that. And then for the mirror case, just doing a lefty sexy into an insert like so. Moving on to the cases where the edge is stuck in the slot we're solving into and the corner is in the top layer. But important to note is whenever an edge is in the middle layer, rotating doesn't affect edge orientation. Because right here we have a good edge because the top color or the front color matches the center, but if we rotate, the same is still true. So for these cases you never want to rotate because it doesn't help with edge orientation. So for the first case we have a solved edge and white is facing up. Now the intuitive solution is basically inserting the corner from this angle right here, which sets up this case which we've seen before. But that solution is basically just doing 3 inverse sexy moves, and that's how you should memorize it. Then when the edge is flipped in its own slot and white is facing up, it kind of looks like we have a flipped pair in its own slot. Now the best solution for this one is actually a little trick, but if you put the corner in the back like that and do a sledgehammer, it sets up a pair which we can just straight up insert in the front right like so. But when we have a solved edge and white is facing left, this is a pretty good case because notice if I put the corner in the back right now, we have blue right here and in the front blue as well. So if we hide the corner, the edge will come in the top layer and we can just move it next to the corner, bring the corner back and insert the pair. This time white faces to the right. Now notice that red is facing up right now, and if I put the edge in the top layer, we have blue right here. But with the corner on the left, we can actually just take out the edge and notice that we have set up a 3 mover. So we can just insert that like so. Now we're gonna see 2 pretty annoying cases where the edge is flipped in its own slot. Now for the first one, white face to the left. And there's a lot of things you can actually do to set up into an easy insert, because notice here we have different colors, so I can just take out the edge, which sets up a 3 mover. But even with the corner in the back left, if I just put the edge in the top layer, notice that we also have an easy insert right here, which we can take out. However, the solution that I advise you guys to learn is, with the corner in the back left, setting up this 3 mover but pushing the corner next to the edge. The reason I think this is the best solution is because now we have a pair, and generally speaking, a pair gives you a bit more freedom with how to insert it and stuff, because we could even like rotate and insert it to the left, or for a rotational solution, we can just do a hedge insert like that.
Oh no, that case.
Now when white is facing to the right, we can do a similar solution with the corner in the back left. However, this time we're gonna start with doing F moves, because notice that red is facing up right here, and if I do an F prime by using my thumb, we set up this 3 mover. So if I put the corner right here and do an F move, we built this pair right here, and now we can just insert it with RU moves. Now because rotating doesn't influence edge orientation for these cases, I advise you guys to learn the mirror solutions on the left for all of these cases. I'm not gonna repeat myself though, because they're exactly the same solutions, but if you wanna get an overview, check the pinned comment because you can find a PDF with all of the solutions. Now we'll see the cases where both pieces are in the top layer, although connected. Now, on average, these aren't the best cases, and oftentimes we'll just set them up into another pair that we know how to solve. For example, for this case right here, where we kind of have a pair, but the edge being flipped, we're just gonna insert the edge, which gives us this case right here, where we just want to put the corner in the back and form a pair, which we can insert like that. And even though this is a long solution, it flows extremely well. Now, the same solutions for the mirror case. So, first of all, inserting the edge, setting up a pair and inserting it. Then for this case, we have the edge right here. And the solution for this one is pretty easy, because we can just hide the corner in the back and move the edge to the place we want it to be to set up this easy insert, which we can just push in like so. Same on the left side, just hiding the corner, setting up a 3 move insert and pushing it in like so. Now for this case, white face to the left and we have the edge right here. What we want to do is just insert the corner right here, which sets up into this case. Now important for the finger tricks is you want to push this insert right here, so you can alternate your hand to put this edge in position, and then just solve it by hiding the edge and forming a pair, which you can insert like that. Now I know the solution is pretty long, but this is what we call a TPS spam, because you can really turn fast. Now the same solution for the mirror case right here. So we can once again insert the corner with a push right here, aligning the edge, and then just solving this case right here. Then we have white facing up oriented edge right here. It is pretty easy to set up an easy insert, because if we just hide the edge, red is now facing up, so we can just move the corner into the correct spot, and if we bring back the edge, we have an easy insert, which we can insert in the front right, like so. Then the mirror solution right here, hiding the edge, putting the corner in place, and then just inserting it in the front left. Then for this case, white facing up, this time these colors are matching. Once again, we have a TPS spam solution because it is pretty long. What we want to do is just inserting the corner into its own slot, which sets up this case right here. Now, ideally, after inserting the corner, we want to push right here, because alternatively, you will really overwork the left hand into this solution by hiding the edge and just inserting the pair like so. And just as a demonstration, you can do this pretty fast. And for the mirror case, we want to do the same thing. So inserting the corner, push, and solving this pair right here. And lastly, we have the worst set of cases, and that is when both of the pieces are stuck in the slot you're solving into. Now the first 2 cases aren't that horrible, because we have a good edge right here, and we can just apply the same rule, which is just taking them out in a way that splits them up right here, and then deal with the case we already know. Just like that. So even though it's a long solution, it is just RU, and you can really spam TPS here. Same this time, but white faces to the right, split them up, and then deal with a case we already know. But the next 2 cases have a flipped edge in its own slot, so we'll have to deal with that. Now for the first case, white facing to the left, we just want to split both pieces up. And notice by putting them in the top layer that we have a bad edge right now, so naturally speaking we would rotate to solve it. However, for this case it actually flows better to take them out and first set up the 3-move insert like this. And because we have been doing RU moves so far, it is actually a bad idea to rotate to this side and insert it on the left side. Instead, what we can do is actually do a U and rotating, which together becomes a YD move, and insert this pair into the back like so. Now, we haven't covered back inserts yet. I have a separate video about that, but just follow along because this shouldn't be too hard. And even though this is a long solution, it flows pretty well. And now when white facing right, or when we're facing the two colors that are matching, we could once again do this right here and rotate to solve it in the back or in the front. However, what I noticed to flow slightly better is just taking them out as a pair actually, and then straight away form a 3-mover like this, which you can solve in the back like that. Once again, this might be a bit confusing because of the back insert, but we'll cover that later. And then the final case, we have a flipped edge and a solved corner. And for this one, once again, we want to take both pieces apart and deal with this case right here. Now, ideally, once again, because we're doing RU moves and because solving in the back is usually a good idea, we can do a U and a rotation together once again by doing a D move, pairing those two up like this. And quick spoiler for the next video, when you have a back pair, it's usually better to insert it with a U2 flick like so. Once again, we have a stuck edge, so rotating doesn't change the edge orientation, so you might as well just learn how to solve them from the left side. Since you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give you a quick applause. But now I quickly want to talk about how you want to practice this. So in your regular solves, you just want to look for standard cases, for example this one right here. Look at the edge orientation. So we have a good edge right here, but for now we only know how to solve in the front slot, so we'll have to do a double rotation. But if you get it from this angle, for example, we have a bad edge, rotate to the side where you know the slot you're solving into is in the front, and then just do the solution to that pair. And if you ever get to the point where there is no standard case, just look for a pair you're solving into, this edge is in the wrong slot, and just take it out so that you can work on this standard case right now. However, if you want to practice this more effectively, you can check out cube.academy because I have an overview of all the cases, but even better so, there's a free PDF with setup moves for each case and all of the solutions we're gonna take a look at in the intuitive F2L videos. So if you ever get to the point where you want to expand your F2L knowledge, you can see the intuitive F2L video playlist on screen right now. Oh yeah, and buy my cube. Discount code CubeHead. Huge discount. See you guys.